Welcome to another episode here for the Funky Pod, Mindful Media and Communication. And finally, the Funky Pod has come back to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this podcast. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Finger guns for you on YouTube if you're watching this video. So let's jump into what we're up to today. And you see me smiling if you're watching the video because we're talking wrestling. And if we're talking wrestling, I'm a happy camper because I used to be a huge wrestling nerd. Now I like it again. Now I'm back into it. Why? Because The Rock is cooking again. The Rock is back in wrestling and brought the most electrifying evolution in pro wrestling, and that's why we have to talk about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sasha, and I'm the advocate, not for the reigning, defending, undisputed. No, I'm not the advocate. I'm the advocate for pro wrestling right now because pro wrestling is hotter than it's been in a hot minute, and it's all thanks to an old timer like The Rock. Who would have thought that the biggest, most well-paid actor in the world would come back to weekly television to be on WWE SmackDown? If sure, a cameo here and there, maybe some WrestleMania action, yeah, but he's back on weekly TV. Now that might be because some movies fell through, whatever, no one cares. I think we can all agree that he probably doesn't need to do that. And so it's just the more surprising that he does it. And yes, I understand he's now in the board of TKO. He wants to make sure that the stock keeps rising. That's why he's so involved right now. It's all good. Still cool that he does it, and still cool that he goes all in. He could just show up. That would be enough probably to bump the ratings, to bump the stock price. But he's all in. And he's not the good guy Rock anymore. He's a bad guy now, which takes me back 20 years when he was the bad guy the last time, which is just amazing because The Rock as a bad guy is just fantastic. So, The Rock's heel persona, like a heel turn for the ages, I believe, especially this one. Yeah, so let's set the stage, okay? The Rock, yes, The Rock, Dwayne the People's Eyebrow Johnson. He has flipped the script from this handshaking, and I'm gonna make you everybody smile and Moana, and he flipped the script, turning heel, and he aligned with a cousin, right? Roman Reigns, the big heel that everybody hates. But it's not your garden variety villain turn. Oh no. The Rock 2.0, The Rock 10.0. That's how he called himself on Jimmy Kimmel. The Rock 10.0. He's leveraging every bit of his Hollywood charm to become the bad guy we can't help but love to hate, to be honest. We hate Roman Reigns. And The Rock, admittedly, even worse in what he says and what he's planning to do. But we all love him. And one big reason as to why he's so successful ever since he returned is his social media use. And of course he's great at social media, but the way that he's using his actual social media account to cut wrestling promos and to cut non-PG wrestling promos using all the swear words in the English dictionary and dropping F-bombs left and right on his main Instagram account is crazy. His Instagram, when it comes to wrestling, it's all R-rated content right now. And thanks to the marvels of the internet, he can drop those bombshells left and right. Who's gonna censor him? Yeah, I must say it's making the Attitude Era blush. And the question now, why does it work so well? Why are people like me, and you probably, if you're watching and listening to this, drawn to this again? And well, easy. Number one, use and gratification. We talked about this before. The use and gratification theory in media theories, right? It tells us that we are what we want, right? If the media gives us what we want, what we're longing for, we're happy campers. It's that easy. So we're all here for a good time. And The Rock, WWE, they know it. So they're serving up the drama that we crave with a side of nostalgia. Like, why am you back at watching wrestling? Because we grew up with The Rock, and we loved this bad, sarcastic side of The Rock, and now we're feeling all nostalgic. Now we're tuning back in, the sprinkle of rebellion, like the non-PG stuff. Cool. It's not just about watching wrestling anymore. It's about engaging with it on our terms, how we like it. It's basically also what Cobra Kai on Netflix did, if you remember that. Like rebooting Karate Kid. Yeah. So this always works. This nostalgia trick has always worked, will always work, and The Rock is utilizing it to perfection right now. And The Rock is The Rock. So we can also look towards what we call the parasocial interaction theory, PIT. And The Rock's Instagram feels like a group chat with like an old friend who's gone rogue. Because we all follow The Rock. Like everyone follows The Rock. So you've all seen like his 4 a.m. workout post and like his new water drops here and then his new whatever movie drops there and then his new facial cream drops there. And so we're all like familiar with The Rock. We see him posting all the time. So this parasocial relationship is there, right? Meaning like we think we know The Rock. So his post, his story, his super public call-outs, they're all designed to make us feel like we're in on the joke. Even if the punchline is the people's elbow to our collective sensibilities, if you will, okay? So that's what we call the parasocial interaction theory. We have this relationship with The Rock thinking we know him very well because we grew up with him and we all follow him on social media, so we think we all know what he's up to. And then he's like going live or like posting a reel like, hey, I'm in Dallas, Texas right now. See you at Cowboy Stadium or AT&T Stadium. If you smell a little while, fantastic. We can also look at the two-step flow theory. Also a staple when it comes to media theories. The Rock isn't just preaching to the choir. He's turning us into evangelists, sharing his gospel. What I'm doing right now, right? Like according to Instagram, with every like, share, retweet, and so on. Like, so he's not just a wrestler. He's this conversation starter, a trendsetter, a social media maven. Call him what you will, because right now The Rock is everything and more. And he's doing it to perfection, what I just said earlier. And The Rock says, you share it. You talk about it. There are so many wrestling reaction videos out there like I've never seen before, talking about The Rock and how The Rock is upstaging Roman Reigns and whatnot. So it's crazy. It's awesome. It's everything we've been waiting for. Everything that we needed to make wrestling cool again, I believe. And one of my favorite theories actually is the medium theory. Very basic name, right? So the medium theory reminds us it's not just what The Rock is saying, it's how and where he's saying it. And so he talks on social media and then he talks on TV, of course. But social media, of course, allows for immediacy and authenticity, right? That traditional TV promos can't really match. Also on TV, he's got like just 10 minutes, or The Rock got 30 minutes, but it might not be enough time. On social media, he's got all the time in the world. Like he dropped like a 20-minute video on when he was dissing Cody Rhodes, for example. And so this is, I don't know why no one else ever done that like that before, but he's just using social media to further promos that they didn't finish on TV, or to set up promos he's gonna say on TV, like the latest one with the belt and Cody Rhodes, for example. Why did no one ever do this like this before? It's great. It's great. And The Rock is unfiltered, unapologetic, and in this case also unbound by cable network standards. It's raw, it's real, and it's reshaping how we interact with the wrestling narratives. And again, I wonder why no one has done it before, because that's what social media is supposed to be. That's why we invented social media back then, and that's the basic use of social media, and it's working very, very, very well. It's fantastic. if you're looking at like another basic concept of encoding, decoding, right? Like Stuart Hall's model, if you're a media theory student. The Rock's messages are packed with insider knowledge, with like Easter eggs, callbacks that diehard fans decode with like glee, like, I know that reference. He referenced Moana in his heel tear down of Cody Rhodes' mother last Friday. He was saying like, I'm gonna whip your son bloody, I'm gonna hand you the bloody belt because it's the only belt instead of a championship belt that you will ever hold, and I'm gonna say you're welcome, and it was like a Moana quote or something. Fantastic. And the thing is, what The Rock says is, this is like just some small Easter eggs in between. So the overall promos, they're accessible enough that casual fans aren't left in the dust, right? It's like this balancing act of epic proportions, and The Rock is walking like the tightrope in his Fly Air Jordans and his Versace shirt, of course, because that's what Hollywood Rock is doing. By the way, speaking of Hollywood Rock, he brought the theme song back. And he didn't just bring the theme song back. He walked out. The OG Rock's theme song is hitting. And while he's standing there, and while the Titantron then plays and turns into red, the bad Rock logo, the theme song changes into the Hollywood Rock theme song. Easter egg again. Apologies for the coughing, but I'm so excited because A, well, yes, I'm a fan, but B, from a media professor's point of view, this is just fantastic because you can see all the theories at work. It's amazing. Yeah, it's fantastic. I hope this never ends. It's going to end with WrestleMania probably, but let's hope it's never going to end. Last theory I want to throw at you before I leave you with it again, and then we're going to watch more Rock promos. Agenda setting. Yeah, by choosing what to amplify on social media, of course, The Rock is also directing conversation, obviously, right? Want to debate whether his feud with Cody Rhodes is good for wrestling? Too late, because The Rock has already moved on to the next chapter, right? So The Rock is pushing the narrative. He's deciding what we talk about, how we talk about it, how fast we're moving forward, and so on. Yeah, and we're all watching, and we're all eagerly turning the next page and like, yeah, when is he going to post again? Oh my God, The Rock post. Did you see The Rock's post? That's how it should feel. It hasn't felt like this in forever, and it feels like it now again. So thank you, Rock. It's awesome. It's not just social media, though. It's also like, of course, what he says on TV, how he says it. It's, when he stands there with like the bad guys, they're like all the family, right? Like all his family, like cousins and so on. And then they do the sign, like they raise like the number 1 to the sky. It's like, we are the ones. And he doesn't, his one looks different because he uses like his thumb to make an L. And it's like, that's also communication. It's fantastic. It's like those small things, like body language and whatnot. The way he looks at certain people, the way he looks at Roman Reigns. He says, yeah, he's my cousin and you're the boss. I acknowledge you as the boss, blah, blah. But then you can see how Paul Heyman looks at The Rock and you say, oh, something's happening there. So it's not just The Rock. It's everyone involved in this story right now. It's just doing such a fantastic job in communicating and using different communication theories to drive the narrative. It's fantastic. It's the Roman Reigns being upset at the people chanting The Rock's name and then said, I need you to acknowledge me. The Rock acknowledges him, but then also while acknowledging him, he then does the sign the wrong way, and sometimes he mispronounces names, which you think, was it on purpose now? Then you see Paul Heyman side-eyeing The Rock, or like acknowledging with his looks that The Rock is doing the wrong sign, saying, I see what you're doing. It's fantastic. So all those small things just make wrestling right now very, very, very cool in my opinion. And not just, it's not just wrestling. There's so much that's happening, which is just amazing. I hope you're not bored with like the media theories, but I do wanna throw a few last thoughts at you before I leave you with it. Because so we talked about like his heel turn, right, which is fantastic because he's like this good guy on social media usually, and everyone loves The Rock, and now he's like this bad guy dropping f-bombs. Fantastic. We talked about the user gratification theory. We talked about that when The Rock says something, the world listened, right? The Rock drops a promo, everyone's like, oh my god, did you see that? Share it. Amazing. Most viewed. He also has the most hated segment in wrestling history, I believe, like with the most dislikes when he took away Cody Rhodes' main event spot for a little bit. Fantastic. We talked about the parasocial interaction theory. We talked about encoding, decoding his social media promos. Yeah, we talked about a gending setting, and we talked about like how his theme song even is part of communication, right? How from if you smell what The Rock is cooking, and to like the dog is cooking, like the bad guy soundtrack. So it's all communication, and that's why I'm all into it, and that's why I'm so excited about it. It's not like I'm not telling you have to be a wrestling fan, you have to be a Rock fan, you have to whatever. No, to be fair, like his political statements and his selling out and like all his different brands. Not a big fan of The Rock. I think he sells out too much. I think he's everywhere. He sells water. He sells facial cream. But that's too much, right? But I do appreciate if someone is good at their craft and just utilizes so many different avenues of communication. And right now, The Rock is fantastic at communicating everything in regards to wrestling and getting everybody psyched for WrestleMania, which is in 3 weeks from now. So that's why I thought it's worth talking about it, because it's not just going out there insulting people. It's really, really smart planning and, well, media and communication theories at play that at least I appreciate very much, and I hope you do appreciate those too. Having that said, let me know what was your favorite Rock promo ever since he returned. I can't really pick, to be honest. Like the slap was great, of course, when he slapped Cody Rhodes. The Rock concert, we had another Rock concert. It was fantastic. The Ja Morant line in the Rock concert this past Friday, fantastic. Like, when he dropped that line, I really laughed out loud. Like actually at home, I was laughing out loud because there was a great line in Memphis. Fantastic. So let me know what's your favorite Rock promo ever since he returned. Do you think Cody Rhodes will finish his story? Do you think the Bloodline story is just starting with The Rock turning on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? What will we see? What's going to happen? Let me know in the comments at FunkyPod on social media, funkypod@gmail.com if you want to talk, want to send me an email and tell me how much you love this podcast. Like, share, subscribe, leave a review. That helps the most with, reaching more people. Until then, take care, stay safe, kick out a 2. Sorry, Cup.